Yeah, hello, hello. Yeah, hello everybody. So this is Jerry Kwun, and yeah, welcome to tonight's concert. And yeah, before my program starts, so here comes some sort of presentation of my ideas, or maybe the music aesthetics that I've been using to write music. Yeah, for tonight's concert, I'm going to premiere three pieces. So the first one is the Nostalgia. It's written for a string quartet, and after that, there'll be two choral pieces written in Cantonese. So yeah, it's something really, I would say, new, in general, because Cantonese is a really interesting language, and yeah, it's a really huge pressure for me to write for, or maybe set the pitches for the tones, or maybe for the words. So yeah, here comes the thing. Yeah, so for the main ideas of my pieces that I'm going to talk about, so first of all, for the nostalgia, yeah, I'm going to talk about some sort of interlocking of gestures in my music, and it somehow generates some sort of polyphonic senses. And after that, I'll talk about the reason, maybe, the initiative of using extended techniques, or maybe different techniques to reflect different sounds. Yeah, and after that, I will talk about the use of folk tunes, or maybe in another sense, some sort of melodies, right, to write my music. So, because I like working with a lot of original material, fragmented in several ways, and do it in a really artistic manner, I will just use it to do the metric structure of the entire piece, and after that, I like doing some sort of fragmentation, as I mentioned. And after that, yeah, the other favorite corpus in Farewell to Hong Kong, which is Sing Pei Zhong and Bit Hong Kong in Cantonese, I'm going to talk about some sort of experience that I encountered and maybe overcome, when I'm writing this kind of music. So, yeah, let's talk about the nostalgia. So first of all, yeah, so here comes the score. As you can tell, I'm doing a lot of interlocking of gestures, and somehow it can produce some sort of polyphonic senses, I would say. For example, in bar 1661, the second violin and the cello, yeah, they have a upwards gesture, and after that, it's connected with a note, yeah, in bar 61, yeah, so where the viola just entered, and to do some sort of connection, and after that, the cello do the connection, and the cello do the connection with the second violin again, and cello again, and second violin again, and then it ends with the first violin in bar 64, I believe. Yeah, and the reason why I say polyphonic, or maybe some sort of counterpoint writing, is there's some sort of contrast here, or maybe there's some sort of layerings here. Yeah, for example, in bar 63 and bar 64, yeah, as you can tell, the second violin is doing a downward motion, a downward gesture. But after that, when it's connected with the first violin, it's actually going the upward motion. Yeah, so as you can tell, it somehow generates some sort of polyphonic senses, and you can, of course, not only do some sort of counterpoint writing, of course, you can even do some contrasts, yeah, or maybe imitations. So this is something that I found really interesting when I'm working with this kind of music. And after that, the use of different extended techniques. Yeah, extended techniques generates quite a lot of different sounds, a lot of specific timbre, and I like exploring different combination of it. I like, looking into the entire thing. And so I will just keep using this kind of gestures, and I will somehow provide it with a story, provide it with a purpose. For example, so there will be some sort of tapping on the instrument, because the title of my piece is called The Nostalgia, right? So there will be quite a lot of old stuff, or maybe some, sort of memoir stuff. Yeah, so maybe there will be some working class walking, right? So there will be some the ship docks, so maybe some sort of sounds about the sea, or maybe the use of a gavel, yeah, when you are some symbol of the legal system, stuff like that. Yeah, and there are quite a lot of different sort of extended techniques that I use, and I hope this can bring people with some sense of old stuff, remind them of some really old memories and stuff like that, and to explore different kind of timbre combinations in a really artistic manner. Yeah, and after that, the use of folk tune in my music. So first of all, I would like to talk about the metric structure of my piece, right? So first of all, okay, so take an example. So there's a recent piece that I submitted. It's called the Hong Kong Romancer. Yeah, you can search it through online, through YouTube. So first of all, I will just do finding the pitch class of the notes in the melody. For example, as you can tell, Liebesfreund, right? So it's a G, it's starting from a G, so it's 7, right? And then it's a C, so it's 0. And after that, it's a E, so it's a 4, okay, etc., etc. If you don't like using pitch class because of how big the number can be, you can, of course, use the other stuff like scale degrees, tonic, supertonic, dominant, median, whatever. And after that, you will just arrange, right, the numbers, and just arrange the unit of the time signatures. And I will start doing it with a way that it makes sense. Because, for example, okay, I start with 7, 8, right? And then 0 is a general pause, right? If I do it 4, 2, the difference between 2 bars, the metric thing will be quite different. Because, okay, so if I'm doing it 7, 8, and 4, 4, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the next bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It won't be too huge difference, right? But if I'm doing it at 4, 2, right? So you have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And after that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, blah, blah, blah. Something like that. So it's not really something I like. Or maybe it will make the entire thing become more confusing. And after that, I will just put it in my music. For example, as you can tell, this is a page of my school. Alright, so there's some sort of arrangement, and I put it in my score. But before you're doing that, you have to be aware, because this is some kind of really complicated metric structure, and you have to provide it with a purpose, right? Because the reason behind, or maybe the initiative behind to keep changing timbre, keep changing metric structure, is the emphasis of the strong beat, the downbeat, right? So if you can't really use it in a proper way, you just do it for the sake of doing it, right? So it won't have any sense at all. And after that, I like doing some sort of fragmentations of folk tunes. For example, in my piece, I used the melody of God Save the King, which is the national anthem of the United Kingdom, right? So after that, as you can tell, there will be some senses here. And maybe for this version, it will be accompanied by piano, or maybe for other instrument like guitar, right? But I would just do it with the tapping of the instruments, or maybe the bow and bounce thing, and it indeed increase the possibilities of different timbres. And I like exploring. Just keep exploring, something like that. So this is the approach I use when I'm writing for this kind of chamber music. And I hope that you find it inspiring. And after that, I'm going to talk about the 2 Cantonese choral works that I've been working on. It's called Alphabet Corpus and Farewell to Hong Kong. So these are 2 different settings, I would say. So one is for a chorale setting, and the other one is for a modern choral writing settings. I will provide you with some little insights about how to write this kind of music, because I think as a Hong Konger, as a Hong Kong composer who treats Cantonese as some sort of mother tongue, right? I have the responsibility somehow, to show you guys how I do it, to share my experience in a quite generous way, right? So here we go. So first of all, we have to understand the basics of the Cantonese language first, of course, right? A lot of people might say, Cantonese, they have 9聲6調, right? So there are 9 tones, but it's completely wrong, right? The only tones you have is the 6 tones that are shown below, right? If we are using SI, C, right, as an example, I'll pronounce it for you. C, 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 something like that. It might not be too appropriate, but as you can tell, there will be some sort of difference in terms of pronunciation. And as you can tell as well, there will be some sort of difference of the meaning as well. For example, C means poem, C means history, C means tribe, C means time, C means a market, or maybe some sort of town. C means yes or no, or maybe is or are, right? So the main thing I'm trying to present here is if the tones are set in the wrong combination of pitches, things are quite messed up, right? So for the example above, okay, 縮米, da da, 1-5. 縮米, it means chord, right? But if we do it in 縮米, 縮米, all right, it becomes cooked rice. It's 2 different stuff, right? And there will be a really extreme example for you guys, right? So 吊脷, right? 吊脷 means the little thingy that you use to fish. But I'm not going to pronounce it because it's a swear word, but yeah, you get it. It is something like that. Yeah, so you can understand, the basic concepts behind the Cantonese language. So if you are writing for, Cantonese language, if you are setting the wrong tones for wrong pitches, yeah, you're done, in a way. Yeah, so there will be some sort of methods I use when I'm composing this kind of music. I will use this kind of principle. Yeah, thanks for the help of Dr. Chen Kai-Yang from the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Yeah, he's also an expert in writing Cantonese music. Yeah, he somehow teach me that you can use this sort of basics, or maybe this sort of principle, to work on different sort of Cantonese combinations. Yeah, and of course with a little help of my research, right? Yeah, for example, for the same tone, 整鼓 2-2, 整鼓, okay, it will be the same note, right? Or maybe 收聲, alright, 收聲, 1-1, 收聲, right? So it will be the same tone as well. And yeah, there's still quite a lot of combinations here. I'm not really trying to go through the entire thing because it might be too time consuming, but yeah, I would say some of them might subject to changes of ascending and descending contours. For example, 4-6 and 6-4, something like that, yeah? For example, 連文, right? It can be a minor third. And 慢性, it can become a minor third as well. 慢性, right? But of course, it can be a perfect fourth as well. 慢性, yeah, something like that. There will be a lot of possibilities. And I would say there's a reason behind. Yeah, so for here, yeah, you will see there's quite an example. I would say because the Cantonese language, the Cantonese music itself, it's somehow developed from, some sort of Cantonese operatic music, or maybe some sort of, really traditional Chinese music style called Nanyang, right? So it's written for Cantonese, and there will be a lot of, Gafa. It's some sort of bel canto, in Cantonese. So, for example, there's a melody, da 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 da, something like that. Yeah, there'll be quite a lot of this combination. Yeah. For example, in this example from Joseph Koo, the Bund, 亦未平復始終爭鬥，爭鬥，爭鬥, right? 爭鬥, so it makes sense, right? But 爭鬥, 鬥, 爭鬥, what's that, right? It becomes an entire different meaning here. Yeah, but sometimes you'll just get it. You'll just understand what the singer is trying to sing. Because if you are setting different tones, the entire meaning, I'd say, it won't be a difference at all. Because you can't really fit it with different words. Right? 爭鬥, 爭鬥, what's that? There's no such word, right? So, yeah, there can be some sort of rules here. Yeah, and there's another method for me to set pitches for different words. So I would just use a tuner, okay? So if you have a tuner right now, you can just try it, right? You can just do 你今日食咗飯未啊? Just say through a tuner. Alright? And of course, you can do it in a higher pitch. 你今日食咗飯未啊? 你今日食咗飯未啊? You will see a lot of different combinations. Yeah? Right? And I'm not convenient here due to the technical issues and the technical limitations. I'm not really here to do a lot of examples, but yeah, I hope you understand what I'm talking about. And after that, so you can use the Cantonese melody generator, yeah, developed by Dr. Chen Kai-Yang again. Yeah, so here's the QR code, you can just scan it, and there will be a website, you can just type in the words that you'd like to look into for possibilities, right? So they will show you quite a lot of a list, a bunch of it. Yeah, so you can try it out. Right, so after talking about the basics of the Cantonese language, or maybe how I set pitches, in this sort of structure, yeah, I would like to talk about the notation principles. Yeah, actually, in comparison with other code works in different language, I would say the rules are quite the same, quite similar, isn't it? But if you are really doing some sort of glissanding notation, you have to be aware. You have to do it carefully. Yeah, you have to just add it. You can just add a scoop or maybe a ciacatura. Okay, for example, the upper one, 也許 is 2-5, right? So, sorry, 5-2, right? So, 也許. So, if you are neglecting the ciacatura from the 許, it becomes 也許, right? 也許你, and if you're neglecting all the stuff here, it becomes 也許你, right? What's that? It's not 也許 anymore. It's not maybe anymore. It's become something like weak or maybe something. And after that, there will be 別香港. That's for my piece actually. Yeah, 別香港, right? 1-2. If I'm neglecting the scoop here, it becomes 香港, some sort of river stuff, right? It's not really the same case. And if you ask me which kind is my preference, I would say the lower one would be my preference. Because just imagine, if you're writing a Siakatura, and a lot of people were singing ya, hu, something like that, ya, hu, it's not really how we speak, right? It's not how it works. So I would say the scoop is the best thing to represent that sort of glissando gesture. Ya, hu, right? So that's easy. And the photo, as you can see, from the chart I just showed you before, there might be some sort of glissando as well going down, but I would say as a mother tongue speaker, I would say, it's too outstanding, or maybe, too obvious, so I won't do it. So as I mentioned before, for the two pieces, I'm writing one for chorale setting, I'm writing another one for a modern choral writing setting. So they can be quite different. For example, if you're really searching for some really traditional writing stuff, you have to be aware. Because when you're writing for chorale, there can be quite a lot of limitations. The parallel fifth, hidden fifth, although it's not really something relevant, in the 20th century, or maybe contemporary stuff, but it's still a thing. I think you have to take care of it, right? And after that, they'll be usually so fully packed because some sort of sense of choral writing is to emphasize the fluidity or maybe the fluency of different lines or different parts. So it will become a thing. You have to be aware of it, right? And after that, but if you are doing a modern choral writing setting, it can be much more flexible because you will have a lot of accompanying instruments. You can just do solo, you can do everything. You can even do octaves, right? So it won't have too many limitations here. So when you are writing for chorale setting, right? I would say because you have to make chords, right? And if you are making chords, there will be movements. If there are movements, the entire thing will just fall apart, a bit by bit, right? So the way, or maybe the suggestion I'm showing you, is to try to put the same words vertically on the same spot. Or maybe to emphasize each line's rhythmic similarity in different lines. As you can tell, in Dr. Austin Yip's Say Yasi, the words are on the same spot. For example, in my piece, the words are also from the same spot, right? This will indeed increase the accuracy of the tones that you're trying to express, right? So for this slide, I actually prepared an example for you guys. So here you go. And this will be a bad example demonstration. The left-hand side one is the one with the similar rhythmic structure in all of the lines, and the second one, there's some sort of difference, right? And because I would say Cantonese is a language that's full of slangs, a lot of people might use some really poetic or maybe artistic words to write music, but it's not really how we speak at all. So I decided to use a really, I won't say swear language, but some sort of slang, I would say slang, to do some sort of demonstration. For example here, 頂你個肺, right? 頂你個肺. Okay, so it's B-A-A-A, alright? 你個肺. It's three similar tones, right? 頂, right? 頂你個肺. So I invited some members from my choir to do some sort of demonstration. Please welcome them. Right. So the entire melody will be ding li go fei, something like that, right? So the left-hand side one is the right version. As you can tell, the notes are different, because there are some sort of harmonization. But let's go. As you can tell, right? 頂你個肺. It's indeed showing out, right? Although the notes are different, but it's showing out. It stands. But for the right-hand side one. So let's go. As you can tell, 你個肺, it becomes 你個肺, 你個肺, 你個肺. So it doesn't really make any sense at all, right? So I would say the importance here is quite standing. Yeah, so thank you for your demonstration. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and if you find that it's really dull, really boring, you can try some sort of polyphonic writing. Yes? For example, here, 金二耶, so 1-4-4-1. As I mentioned before, it can be an octave, it can be, parallel fifth, right? So there will be some sort of imitations here, right? And there's 1-4-1-4-1. It can be parallel fifths, so there can be also, some sort of imitations here. And this will indeed increase the accuracy of your words when you're setting the pitches. And as long as you can find a way to fit in the pitches, fit in the notes, fit in the words, with some sort of appropriate or maybe some really spicy notes to create chords, you'll be all right. Yeah, no worries though. And if we are writing for modern choral settings, it will become much more easier because you can cheat. Yeah, so when I'm talking about cheat, yeah, you can use somehow some sort of alternative vowels, or right? So you can ask the entire thing. Okay, so when the upper parts are singing the melody, they can appear in an octave, they can appear itself, right? Yeah, so it's really simple, right? And I think that's it for the sharing of the Cantonese choral writing part. Yeah, so I hope you guys will enjoy the show. And before starting the show, there's some people that I'd like to thank. So first of all, I want to thank Dr. Mendes. Yeah, please give a big hand, Dr. Mendes. Yeah, he has been giving me quite a lot of inspiration when I'm working on my string quartet, maybe doing some sort of explorations in contemporary music, notation-wise, something like that. Yeah, I know I always miss some sort of meetings with you, but yeah, I indeed have learned quite a lot of you, and I think I've improved a lot in a way. Yeah, so thank you. And after that, I would like to thank you, Dr. Law. He's not here, but she's not here. But yeah, the thing that I want to say is she has been helping me because I have to conduct my piece as well. And I have no experience in conducting choral pieces, and she is the one who provided me with confidence and maybe even give me suggestions, for example, how I can distribute different parts, maybe something like that. And yeah, she indeed helped me a lot. And after that, I have to thank you, all the players and all the performers that are helping me to perform my piece and making my dream come true. It's a premiere of the pieces that I showed you just now, and yeah, I mean, they're not really helping me for granted at all, right? But they're just a bunch of really hard-working guys, and they enjoy making music with me, and yeah, it's just a really amazing moment for me working with them, and it's my pleasure to having them with my honors project journey, and yeah, so I hope you guys will enjoy my music. Yeah, so this is the end of the presentation. Thank you.